Hello everybody and welcome to this, your Virgo May 2025 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. Well, the highly talented and attractive Virgo. Something about the Virgo woman, isn't there? At least there is for me anyway. You know, what was that substance that used to render Superman powerless? Kryptonite. Virgo woman is like kryptonite for me. I've always fallen under the spell of the Virgo woman, but nevertheless. Anyway, I've got a great set of cards for you this month. It's called Archeon. The Archeon Tarot is by Timothy Lantz, L-A-N-T-Z. Now, I obtained this, I'm sure, about 25 years ago, you know, somewhere between 2000 and 2004, 2005, something like that, somewhere in that period. I haven't used it for ages. I should have done, because I was just looking through it and the imagery on it is very seductive. It's very beguiling. It's very dreamlike. It's something that speaks to your soul rather than to your mind. And so we shall see what layers are to be contained in the energy which these cards represent. Now, you know, of course, that as a clairvoyant, that I provide clairvoyant readings to wherever you may be in the world over FaceTime, Apple FaceTime, or Microsoft Teams, or Google Meet. And the clairvoyant readings go for about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4, something like that. Now, I charge for those, I have to. I've got expenses like everybody else. But as I say, it goes for about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4, something like that. But there's something else. The details are in the description. But there's another thing which I do provide, and which I provide happily for free. And that is the spiritual gift of healing. Now, if this is calling out to you, because it has called out to hundreds of people through this channel alone, then I encourage you to not be shy and just reach out to me, because the gift is something that I have to use, and I'm fulfilling my soul contract here. So you'd be doing me a favor by reaching out if that's the case. But it's up to you, of course. Now, and there'll be no, your email address doesn't get sold off to anybody or anything stupid like that. I hate all those things. What's this card here? That's just a brand description of the deck. Now, there are no video advertisements in this reading, and so you get to enjoy the experience without any interruption. So show me the magic and see what's here, shall we? 9 of Cups. This is the Emperor. Excellent, would you say? Here is the 8 of Wands. That's a good 5 of Swords. Been crushed by that 8 of Wands. And here is the Empress. Right. Well, why don't you come and sit down here next to me, and we can have a good close look at the cards. We'll peel away the veil, blow away the mists that surround these images and what they represent. I'll also bring the camera around so everybody else can see. And we will listen to what they have to say to you and me while I do the reading for you. Great happiness here, communication skills. You have the Emperor and the Empress together. Very, very auspicious for you. Great power coming your way. Do you know, I think you overcome some fears. Fear that's about somehow or other in your life. I don't know why you would have that, but nevertheless it's there, and obviously this wants to be spoken about. Let me deal first with this, because this is just such good news. And here for you it really does look as if all the glitters really is gold, because this is Jupiter ruling the second decan of Pisces, that 1st to the 9th of March. Now, this is good because Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces in astrology. I don't for one second think that Neptune is, for example. And this shows with Jupiter in Pisces very strong teamwork energy. and Jupiter is bringing good luck, good fortune, and its philosophical approach really sits in well with Pisces spirituality. Jupiter is bringing good luck to you, and its softer concerns such as care, compassion, and even the spiritual life, I have to say, they are beautifully expressed here through sensitive Pisces. There is an enormous capacity to love, although, as is so often the case with this gift, this is often hard won through lots of difficult times in the past, isn't it? But nevertheless, overflowing love, deep joy, blessings, and you have the fulfillment of the goal of love here. All these cups seem to be really harmoniously arranged, so everything's balanced here. And the influence of Jupiter in the sign of Pisces, it creates a blessedness, a total joy, and the quality of this joy for you shows here that it is deeply rooted and not the result of just some passing superficial pleasure. In a sense, I'm really getting the feeling here of bliss, which derives its energy from the deepest reaches of a soul at peace. So, this is a moment which is going to be filled with harmony and inner joy, so open yourself up to it totally and don't miss out. But sitting on top of it, and in a way which crushes it, and in a way which also this Sagittarius energy that I can see here, so this Jupiter energy coming through again, sitting on top of this. This is speaking, I think, where you have from time to time a fear of defeat. There's some negativity. You might feel as if you need to give up before you've started, or you're not standing up for yourself here. Some sort of a fear of a loss, of defeat, or a fear of painful situations or experiences. I guess the reason for this is, well, astrologically it's Venus in the first decan of Aquarius. Venus is the ruler of the fixed sign of Earth. But here we have Venus ruling the fixed sign of air, being Aquarius. And these two are sort of at odds with one another. You see, Venus is a lover and not a fighter, whereas Aquarius is ruled by Saturn, and it is a fighter, usually for causes. There's a fear in here still somehow or other, a fear of loss. Now, of course, Aquarius is directed towards the future, so the challenge is to make room for your own objectivity and clarity here, despite having any fears of defeat, which you are going to overcome. And this painting here, with this warrior, it represents your bright spirit breaking through and defeating the power of fear. This fear may be the result of having lost control emotionally due to previous hurts from relationships, or it could be connected with the workplace where you've had a bad experience that has stopped you from expressing yourself fully as your confidence is lost. But now, as you start to let go of fear, the energy, all this color here, bound up, is going to be released, and the mental turmoil will go away, particularly when you make some clear communications and take decisive action. But I want to say something more about fear. Now, anxiety, fear, as I say, they have beset the human race for millennia. How can I explain this way of looking at yourself? Well, I'm going to have recourse to a story for you about trees. You see, where I grew up as a child, I was surrounded by great forests of trees on a peninsula with the surf on one side and a beautiful bay on the other. And for me, trees have always been the best teachers. I honoured them when they lived in tribes and families, in forests and in groves. And I honour them even more when they stand alone, not like lonely people, not like hermits who have stolen away out of some weakness, but like great, strong, solitary people of substance and power, which is what you are. Now, you know, when you look at trees, up in their highest boughs, the world rustles by, and their roots rest in infinity. But they don't lose themselves there. Not at all. They struggle with all the force of their lives for one thing only: to be themselves according to their own laws, to build up their own form and to represent themselves. When a tree is cut down and it reveals its naked death wound to the sun, then you can read the whole history in that shining disc of its trunk, can't you? In the rings of its years, its scars, all the struggles, all the suffering, all the sickness, all the happiness and the times of plenty. They all stand truly written, the narrow years as well as the luxurious years, the attacks withstood and the storms endured. A tree says, "A sacred seed is hidden in me, a spark, a thought. I am life from eternal life. The attempt and the risk that the eternal mother took with me is unique. Unique in the form and the veins of my skin, unique in the smallest play of the branches and the smallest scars on my bark. I was made to a plan, and I reveal the eternal in my smallest special detail. A tree will say, my strength is trust. I don't know anything about my fathers. I don't know anything about the 1,000 children that every year spring out of me. I live out the secret of my seed to the very end, and I care for nothing else. I trust that the beloved is in me. I trust that my being here and working is wholly out of this trust I live. And when we are afraid or anxious and feel that we cannot bear things any longer, then a tree has something to say to you. It is, be still, look at me. Life is not easy. Life is not difficult. Those are childish thoughts. Let the beloved speak within you, and your thoughts will grow silent. You are anxious because your path leads you away from mother and home. But every step and every day leads you back again to the mother. The home is neither here nor there. Home is within you, or it is nowhere at all. And aiding you in this overcoming of these fearful thoughts is actually when you do something. And that's what this is talking about. This, which is a picture of sheer ecstasy, isn't it? Well, this is Mercury in the first decan of Sagittarius, the 23rd of November through to the 2nd of December. Look, Mercury is your planet here, so it's fantastic. And it is not only ruling your sign, but here it's in ruling Sagittarius. And of course, Mercury is exalted with you as well. And in Sagittarius, you will have the swiftness of the arrow, which will go with the fine communication skills that you have from Mercury here. Now, this number 8 here, this is also talking to me of power, balance, harmony, making things manifest, practicality and skill, and decision, making a decision. Because you are going to find that clear, direct, swift communication will overcome any misunderstandings. You are going to be overcoming obstacles. Now, events are going to be moving fast, but blockages are going to be removed and opportunities are arriving quickly for you now. Now, understand that if you state your own standpoint openly, directly, and clearly, any obstacles are going to be transformed. Misunderstandings are going to give way to clarity. And I think you find your home, you found your inner center, and you'll be able to present your position with a power and openness. And there's a problem which appeared to be just insurmountable. It's now going to fade meaninglessly into the background because of your clarity. So if you overcome the tendency to hesitate, that is, to put things off, to procrastinate, and just take action, make the decision and take action, and you are prepared to call disturbing influences and people by name and call them out, you rob them of their power to bind or slow you down. But this energy here, I must say, is very much a strike now. Make that decision that I referred to in the numerology. It's a strike while the iron is hot, sort of an energy. This, expect to be busy. There's a lot of energy propelling you forward. You're going to be completing some projects, but you've got to also determine where your energy is going to be directed. The moment has come for you to define where you stand. And if you are open and remain centered, misunderstandings are going to be cleared away. Ask yourself this question, though. Is there anybody to whom you do not dare to openly state where you stand? And say this to yourself: my openness and self-confidence opens the hearts of those I love and those who would oppose me. Now, let's have a look at the first of this major arcana here. There is a great beauty here. Sometimes beauty can be a mask for a spine of steel. And I think this is such a time for you. Beauty, love, wisdom, inner and outer wealth, a very fertile period for you. This is a time when you are going to be fulfilling your potential And there may well be some successful opportunities around dealing with money making and doing things. I get pregnancy all over this, so you will be hearing of that. And just get in touch with the beauty of your life. You'll be nurturing other people, but more particularly, you'll also be nurturing yourself. Now, I'm going to speak of it as a woman, of course, for the obvious reasons, but it applies to men as well, that your beauty is not restricted now only to the externally visible. This beauty is evolving on all levels of your being, giving you a special radiance. You may be a mother or a lover, and at the same time a ruler, maybe even like a shaman. And your strength will rest in unifying spiritual values with the lowest material qualities. The essential characteristics of her realm and where she rules are love. Love in its giving and receptive aspects. Also creativity, fertility, fruitfulness, understanding and wisdom. Now, interestingly, I think you may well be finding that you are quite service-oriented during this period, giving service to other people or to situations, but nobody's going to be able to easily pigeonhole you as being either an intellectual or an emotionally charged person. You'll have a good balance between the two things here. There's a great leadership ability here, but this is also being reinforced by this as well. And I think that what we find here is that you are going to be oriented towards the future. In your wisdom, you will turn away from the past. Now, there's some gold going on in the back of this card here, I can see. This is almost like the gateway to heaven. And this beautiful here, physical form, I think it really just hints at something more beautiful, much greater that is hidden within it here. In a sense, everything on earth is an image, isn't it? But all images are gates through which the soul can enter the inner world when it is ready. And here, you and I and everything else are one. Now also understand this. The beauty that you see in others, which attracts you to them, is a beauty that you carry within yourself. And I think that you're in the process of unfolding and evolving your masculinity or your femininity. I do think that this could well be the right time to work through and clarify any mother conflicts, whether you're the parent or you're the child. Visualize your ideal woman and write down her most important qualities and try to find these in others and yourself, and surround yourself with beauty and abundance. And say this to yourself now: I give and receive wisely. I realize that the capacity to receive is equally as powerful as the capacity to give. I value the healing power of beauty, harmony, and love. And now, more than ever, I am filled with power and beauty. And then, of course, we have, well, the Emperor. And this is also talking of power here. Now, the messages that are coming up here is that you are going to be a leader. You're going to start to make things happen. You're going to start projects. You're going to set off almost like a pioneer or an explorer. You'll have an urge for action, and there's an adventurousness within you. This is speaking of new beginnings with respect to something here. But I think that order and structure are going to be important to you. You'll be very ambitious And you might find that you are taking a stand, a firm stand, either with somebody else or with yourself. In a sense, you will, during this period, primarily be concerned with power and control, either over other people or yourself. And, well, it's just no getting away from it. You will be a natural leader and organizer, and you'll be using your willpower and judgment in a good way, because you have learned through life experiences, haven't you? And there is a success here, but this is a success that comes from discipline, focus, and application. Status is also going to be important to you, as is material security and stability. You might find that you are quite fiery and volatile at times. I don't see you being passive at all during this period. Now, there is an enormous power here, and as long as your power is used for a good transformation and for new beginnings which conform with your values and heart, then the effect of this power is going to be beneficial and really useful for you. But don't use power just to hang on to things, because otherwise it will disappear. This is a great moment for a change or a new beginning for you, and trust your own energy and move with it. Now ask yourself this: what shaking up does your life need right now? And are there steps that you would like to take towards this? Just have a look at yourself critically, especially in regards to people who you work with or in social relationships. But say this: I enjoy starting projects. I value and honor my leadership ability. I am a responsible person, and I trust the power that has been given to me. I rule by serving, and I serve by ruling. What a fascinating spread of cards for you. Made so much better for you being here. Well, I told you that the artwork on those cards was really beautiful, didn't I? I thought that was great. It's going to be a fantastic month for you. And I really enjoyed your company during that reading. Now, of course, unless I see you in the meantime, either for a clairvoyant reading or for a healing, then I'll see you here again next month. And until then, remember one thing, and it is this: that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.